Through the music, so you're interrupting the music guys. Nice, great pre-production value.
Absolutely.
Didn't know that. A little bit of warning would help.
Yeah, I would think a real producer with skills would be able to fix that.
Yeah, no, I agree. A real producer would.
I am a producer, darn it.
You made comments about Christian's hair. I gotta stop doing that. So
what are you talking about? Hey, don't mock the people who have hair.
Yeah. You're in the minority on this.
All right, gentlemen. Hello. Good morning.
Todd.
How is everyone doing?
It's Monday.
Living the dream, you know.
46 degrees on the porch this morning. Was 86 yesterday.
Oh, we got like an inch and a half of snow, and it's supposed to snow for the next couple days here. I know my wife is in Minneapolis. She said it was 70 yesterday.
Yeah, it was 70 here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
Supposed to be 74 today.
That's not fair. Well,
No,
hey, really quick, just
fair.
to kick things off here, then we can go back to the chatter, the meaningless chatter that provides no value. Let's. Hey, this is the episode 34, guys. 34 weeks of doing this. The Microsoft Community Office Hours, and we may have a few more folks. I think Riz is joining late. He's got another meeting, and he'll join a little bit late. But
that many old Mike.
Yeah. So we are. This is the Monday morning office hours, and we're going to answer questions that are posted either live from the audience. So we're streaming out in Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So lots of places that you can find us and follow along. If you are catching this session for the first time, we do capture out in YouTube as well as on my blog at Buckley Planet. All of the topics that we cover, then the recording and the video. So we provide a link list so you can you don't have to wade through the entire video. You can just jump to the topic that is of interest to you. And then, of course, as you can see, the top left of your screen, if you have a question you'd like us to attempt to tackle, you can email us at officehours@collabtalk.com. And with that, I know, Sean, we have your homework from 2 weeks ago up first. You were going to share what you blogged about.
Yeah, it wasn't technically homework. It was something that kind of got initiated during this call. Webcast, and that was the title of the blog post is faster access to Office files in Microsoft Teams.
I'll share the link out.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's not it. But in any case,
is that it? I've got it right here.
Okay, good deal. The purpose of the post was really just kind of me experimenting a little bit, and most of the file access in Windows-based systems for loading, saving, file picking, that kind of stuff, comes through the common dialog system, an API. So when you open up a window to load something or save something, you typically see the same sort of dialogue because it's produced by the same block of code in Windows. Well, not all of those actually are wired up the same. And the one that's used by the current Office applications is what I call the common dialogue on steroids, because it can access file locations typically that are exposed through WebDAV. So going directly to a SharePoint site, for instance.
Oops.
Yep, Sean, we lost your audio. Your mic went dead.
Well, I lost audio.
Yeah. Oops.
So I lost both Christian and Sean.
Yeah, same here.
Well, mine the mute button's just on, but
There you go.
because I was
Okay.
doing things. But Sean, he's self-muted. The internet has silenced Sean. It's about time.
Well,
Guys, we've been talking about it for a while, and just the AI of the internet has finally
Caught up.
worked as designed.
Yeah. And he was on a roll. He was on a roll, so now he's got to pick down, watch him try and pick up where he left off.
So I
He's
wonder,
back.
what information was Sean about to share that the Men in Black did not want the world to hear? That's the question.
Just Bluetooth being its funky, freaky self again.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point of all of that was the common dialogue system for the Office applications actually can look at WebDAV locations. And if you know anything about WebDAV, you know it's a Byzantine stack of technology to make website locations, and especially things like SharePoint, look like file shares when they're really not file shares. But you can go and save things in various websites and whatnot, like SharePoint, and get data back out. So the folks who were having trouble opening different locations within Teams, if you get the Teams link to the backing file area, which is available throughout a team all over the place, and you look it up once, you save out to the location in an Office app, and you can then use that over and over again, open that location, save additional files, work with them directly within the file storage area. It was just a little accelerator. At the end of the day, it wasn't revolutionary or anything like that, but I remember this from SharePoint Designer, because SharePoint Designer had that bolted into it, and that's how we'd all go out and look at document libraries and whatnot in SharePoint Designer. Well, it's actually still in the Office application, so you have those options available to you. Though it says file area, it implies kind of a file system on your local host, but it's actually available for the web and other locations. So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And that was that like 3 weeks or 4 weeks back? I'll have to. Well, you know what? I'll.
October 27th is when I wrote the post.
So part of that.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Not too ancient.
Cool. Well, has anything else popped up over the weekend, gents, before we jump into the questions that we have outlined? No. Okay. We'll just or any preference on the order of the questions that you guys like to cover first.
I haven't had a chance to look at them today, so no.
Well, I did break them up. I'm starting to do now, identify from the location to pull from. So these are from, these are more Microsoft Teams related. The first, was it 10? 10 questions here. So we've been pretty good about getting through 18 to 20 questions. We'll see, and that includes a couple surprise questions that come up. But and I also clarify for those that are new to the live stream, we don't go and clean up these questions. So we pull them directly from where they were asked, and these are coming from the Microsoft Teams community out on Facebook.
Au naturel.
Yes. So Zoe asks, number one, does anyone have any experience delivering Teams live events in 2 languages? Is this possible? Or is there an option of running translation in form of subtitles?
I've never
So-
tried that.
I can tell you that in PowerPoint, if you use translator, you can translate it to a different language. So if you're speaking, you can translate into, English into Spanish or what have you. I do not know if Teams Live allows for that, but I don't know that.
I'm actually surprised that I don't believe so. I know all of us have been participants and speakers at online events this year, and a number with Teams Live events. And the way that some of these global events handled that was to set up separate streams, separate spaces, rooms, channels for those languages. So I don't believe that it's there. I mean, honestly, this is one of those things that I thought that was going to be coming sooner rather than later with Stream. Remember, we saw it was Satya Nadella like 4 or 5 years ago that demoed, and it did in German, and there was and I've talked about it in the past. There was another presentation. It may not have been at that keynote. I think that was the partner conference where it was translated. Oh, and Julia White did one a couple years ago where it was in Japanese, where she was walking around the stage and doing kind of a code design, and there was an AI element and it had her holograph, but then it had the translation services. Well, it was doing that. It wasn't pre-recorded. It was carefully chosen text that was there, but anyway, we were supposed to have these translation services, real-time translation services, coming, and but not within live services. I've talked about as well Microsoft Translator. I don't
Yes.
have it open. That's been around for a number of years. I think, Mike, as you said, with PowerPoint, I actually used that in a presentation at SharePoint Saturday Sacramento years back, where it had some native Spanish speakers in the room, and they were struggling. I was going too fast. Everybody was going too fast. And so what I did is I set up my laptop and I plugged that in, had my camera presenting at me. They sat there with headphones, even though they were 2 rows in, looking at their laptops because it was doing the real-time translation to text. And then they were able to ask questions. It was fantastic. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but
No.
to have that interaction and take their questions, it was awesome to do in a live classroom environment.
It was, and actually, Translator is now, they have Translator Live. So you go to translator.it, which Microsoft has allocated, and that allows you to, set that up from a browser perspective, being able to translate. But Translators Live is only available for business, right? And I don't know what that means, but I'm looking at the site, and it tells me that it's only available for business. So I don't know if that's restricted from what products it actually can be used in, or how that's done. But they're actually showing the ability to have people, like you said, but actually in the same room where they're sitting at their computers and they're watching this person speak in front of them, but it's being translated on their laptops in the different languages. And this is, I'll put the link out there, but it's actually, the name now is Translator Live. So right there.
Perfect. Oh, and I see, by the way, and that Neil will join a little bit late as well. So,
yeah,
excellent. Yeah, very cool. That's definitely technology that I'm excited that we get to that point and be able to participate in more global events where English is not the primary language. It's
Right.
just really going to open up the expertise sharing around the world, which is very exciting. All right. Question number 2. Stefano says, "Good morning. I have to delete a recording video from a meeting, but by right-clicking on the ... the ellipses points, I see only information problem. I read that I have to go inside Streams to find it, but there isn't anything inside. I try also on SharePoint, but nothing again about the recorded video. How to do? Can anyone help me?" So the problem is, so when you record something within Teams, we're talking about within Teams, your recordings all go to Microsoft Stream. So you need to go out to, to Office and through the browser, you'll see Stream as one of the options. Go into Stream and you'll see all of your recordings. Obviously, if you are not the owner of that meeting and that recording, you're not going to have access to it. So that could be part of the problem. But if it's yours and it's there, if you've done the recording, so one, did you hit record? Was recording enabled? If the answer is yes, and you've recorded past sessions, but this one's just having a problem, but that's where they are stored inside of Stream. So you wouldn't find that in SharePoint.
That's not global.
Oh, that's not global.
No, meeting record. If you look at the roadmap for Teams, meeting recording storage for areas where Stream is not available. Teams meeting recordings are currently disabled for customers whose Teams data is stored in country if Microsoft Stream is not available in that country. So this would be like the South Africa case that Tracy was mentioning the other day.
Right.
So they're releasing, it says it's launched. So I suppose September calendar year 2020, this is supposed to be out, so it should be coming. But a new admin setting will allow customers to turn on meetings recordings if Microsoft Stream data is not yet in country. If this setting is turned on, Teams meeting recordings will be saved in the data center closest to the region. So I don't know what sort of impact that has on accessibility or accessibility to recordings where Stream has to happen outside of your country. But it seems to imply that, not everybody would necessarily have that data available. So, but that feature is rolling out. Should have already rolled September this year, but I'll include the search query that got me there.
Okay.
For whatever that's worth.
Yeah, don't, other than that, I mean, with that specific error message, I've not seeing anything.
I think I've recorded a Microsoft Teams meeting once. Not something I generally do. So.
I've recorded a couple of segments out of the meetings that we do for the company. And those, it's when I hit the ellipsis on them, again, I can go to Stream. And if I go and I log into Stream, they all list there. There is a delete button, and I can delete them.
Yeah. So this sounds like it might be
That's
sort of policy limitation.
I find that under my content.
Yeah. So if there's to your point, Sean, is that if there is a policy or something that's blocking that, I don't see anything about like that error message, if that's the exact wording.
So he says, I read that I have to go inside Streams to find it. So it sounds like he hasn't even explored inside Streams.
Yeah.
But it isn't, nothing inside. That's just an oddity of the way that's written, I think.
Yep. Yeah, so that's if you have the right, if you do the recording, if it's worked in the past, but that's where the recordings are in Stream. You go into Stream, into My Videos or My Content, and you'll be able to see all those videos. So if it, I mean, it could be some other problem if it failed to record, if there's some other error that if it's not showing up there, it's worked in the past, and you're getting some weird error message. I mean, it's a non-standard thing we're not aware of, then it sounds like that might be a support call.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're watching it, obviously it's coming from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's, Microsoft has tried in some areas, tried to get better. I think it's long been in a complaint, certainly in the IT pro world, of error messages not being very descriptive. Yes.
Yes.
It's like the engine light coming on the car can mean 200 different things.
Yep.
An unexpected error has occurred.
Yeah. All right.
An unknown error has occurred.
Yes.
Yeah.
An unknown error has occurred. Thank you. Most errors are unknown to me. Yes. Thanks for nothing. All right.
Exactly.
Question number 3. Christopher asks, so a question for the group. We were on a Teams meeting with a potential customer, and one of our employees hit the record button, thinking it would make some announcement to the attendees like I believe it does in GoToMeeting. This, of course, was not the case, and the only thing I saw was a brief banner message appear, something easily missed. My question is there a way to configure Teams so that only the host of the meeting can hit record so that no other attendees can? I believe I can block specific users from having the record option, but I am not sure if that will impact just meetings they are hosting or in general. It will mean in general. I really don't want to block them if I don't have to. Or is there a way to customize the banner or something along those lines? I don't believe you can customize the banner today, so you can't change that message. I don't know that Microsoft is altering or giving more options for that banner message. I know there's been plenty of feedback that it should pop up on screen, or the banner across the top, or there something else that happens to make that stand out. So, and hey, it's Liam.
Hello, hello.
Orange.
Greetings.
And now we'll move to together mode, since we have 5 people. We can move to the mode.
Oh,
Together mode.
There we go.
I get to make you move to a new mode. I feel so special.
That's right.
Absolutely.
You're very yellow and orange. You're like
hold on.
bad Liam
Hold on,
orange.
I'm cleaning it. There you go.
There we go.
Boy, that made a difference.
You
I was
need to
trying
hit
to look
that.
like I had a permatan. That's what I was doing.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So we're and Liam, we're talking about whether or not you can. So an employee in a team meeting hit the record button, and is wondering, is there a way to make it so only the host in a Teams meeting can restrict? Only the host can record, or if anybody can hit record. And so I believe today I don't know what the status is, but turning on recording a meeting is on or off, and that I believe it's all members have the ability to hit record or not.
If you're a guest, I don't think you get the record option.
Correct.
Well, for us, half the time.
And I'm really,
ain't
Right.
not the truth.
Right.
And I'm kind of surprised about the banner that she says she says is brief. For me, when that banner shows up, I have to click something or it'll stay there the whole meeting.
Right.
I was thinking the same thing, Hal. I don't know how it just popped out, because that's got to be something you
I don't think it
acknowledge.
does, but it does just kind of blend into the top there. If you don't notice, you're not looking for it. I mean, it could be because it has if I've got the dark mode on, it kind of blends into the darkness. If it were the whole thing were red or some other color, or blinked annoyingly or something, so that you knew to click it and turn it off.
Purple and white on a black background sticks out to me.
Yeah, that too.
So
It's the old Windows hot dog color scheme for
So right now for recording, I've been creating lots of Teams policies using PowerShell. So I don't know what it's called in the interface. I know what it is in PowerShell, but it's called weirdly it's called allow cloud recording. If you set it to false, it will actually stop people being able to record the Teams meeting. So there's actual, because I've been doing some stuff with schools, so we don't want the kids to do the stuff in Teams.
Right.
So if you do it that way, there's allowed cloud recording. If you put that to true, then everyone can record the meetings. But you can also like 100% disable it if you wanted to. And you can also then turn it on for specific individuals if you wanted to as well.
But Liam, isn't that an all or nothing for them to record in any meeting? It's not restrictive
Correct.
for a specific meeting. So as you're setting a meeting, there's no option for you to say, only I as a meeting creator can record. It's either on or it's off for all those individuals. So if you go and turn that off, then when they launch other of their own meetings, they will not be able to record.
Correct. Yeah. If it's defined in the meeting policy, it goes across everything. So yeah, I know they are making changes. So as part of this stuff I was on some calls last week. As part of stuff with schools, they're making adjustments because what they found, like a simple thing with Teams, that you have a teacher and a bunch of kids. They all join a Teams meeting, and then the teacher finishes the meeting. 99% of the time, the teacher doesn't actually close the meeting properly. So the kids come in afterwards, and then they add people that weren't in the original meeting to the meeting because it's still hanging about like a chat, and then they have conversations in the background. So there are some changes that they're going to make based on that.
Students are the greatest bunch of testers.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. It was because I got this phone call and it was like, hey, we have this principal at the school. They want to know why the kids can do this. I'm like, they can do what? I'm like, let me try that. Oh, yep, sure enough you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why you have some capabilities. Like I really love the mute all that's coming and and that's being deployed.
I don't know why that wasn't there to begin with. Let's be
God,
honest.
Right.
That's so overdue.
I know. Well, it's funny because we've all been in these massive Microsoft hosted Teams meetings and it's just constantly ding as people joining and other background noise. And so to be able to go in there and you have two ways. You can mute all as well as mute individuals that are making noise, because once they're muted, people can unmute themselves and come back in. But most people by default, if they don't know that they're on, they don't know that they're on.
Yeah.
Although there was a pretty funny viral video of a kid, and I think it was like a Zoom meeting, but the kid I think was doing it intentionally, but he asked his teacher a question. There's like 50 kids in the class, and then he starts screaming at his mom about doing laundry, and then comes back and asks the question. He never mutes. And then he just starts screaming at his mom, and you hear the mom in the background, but it's still... I think the kid knew exactly what he was doing, but it was pretty funny. And the teacher was just clueless to it. It was hilarious.
I was on a call this morning. We heard we had the benefit of a toilet flush. We heard kind of like someone not muted.
See, I always get nervous that people can hear. So like when my kids are at home, like I'm in the basement, and when my boys are at home, I swear they do laps upstairs, and so I can hear this noise. I can hear them screaming, and I'm like, and I feel like I'm apologizing, and then no one can hear it. So like it's like I'm really sorry. My kids are screaming. They're like, they are. I'm like, oh, I must be in the best place in the house.
Well, if you have the headset on that has the noise canceling, but I know Teams
I use that too.
Teams does do a better job. I mean, we were talking about this. I mean, in the weeks that it took me to set it up, to remember to set it all up. But playing the music, and I would play music, and it would come through on the recording, warbled, but the guys would hear nothing. And so now I do the system speakers, and it picks up. But
sure.
Yeah, it's good times. Well, let's jump to question number 4. Clay asks, does anyone know how to export my Teams call log to a CSV file?
Call log.
I don't know what they mean by call log.
You're talking telephony?
Remember I talked about this last week. This was my hidden telephony question. But I don't know. I've not gone looking for that, so I'm not familiar with it. My assumption, if Teams is logging it, that you can export it.
I mean, chat log. that's different. The admin can get that, but it's not in CSV format.
Anything can be in CSV format.
Yeah, but specifically the call log.
But
so you can view your call history in Teams.
They did say there was going to be an export option, but I don't know. You can use the get CS sessions PowerShell command that was available. It's available on GitHub, and that was one that you could use. It also had there's a PowerShell in the PowerShell gallery. There was somebody created something called CXD call data that would allow you to kind of extract some of that data out. I've not used them.
Well, it doesn't look like it doesn't look like you could do it through the UI. So it presents you with the history, and that's it.
Yeah, you used to be able to get it through the Skype for Business API, so you could, and I'm sure that would probably still work. I've not tried it. It seems to me a bit of a lengthy process just to get a call log. I mean, obviously they are adding reports to the Teams admin center, so you can see the call history and things like that. So I'm not quite sure why you'd need to dump it down. But then again, I have that question quite a lot. Like, well, can I take this data and put it in Splunk on-prem? I'm like, okay, that works.
I'll ask the next question here, since we'll punt on this one. I'm gonna email a couple folks, and I might be able to get an answer here later in the live stream. And let's see, do have a couple comments. It looks like I wasn't watching the Facebook comments here. Yeah, Stacy, so helpful, Stacy, about the error messages. Would unpredicted error occur to be better? Yeah. And then Paul's asking what mic you're using, Liam.
I am using a Shure SMB7.
And now you know, Paul, and knowing's half the
nice
battle.
microphone.
G.I. Joe.
And it's the same one that whenever you watch like a music artist sing on TV and they have a mic, it's the same mic. I don't sing, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah, please. But you could.
I do beatbox once in a while though when I'm on my own.
So you could. You're working your way towards that. Maybe in the next 10 years.
I'm just working towards it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do that.
Beatboxing.
All right. Well, number 5, Ador says, hello, everyone. I'm curious what exactly means trust organization at set meeting participant at meeting pass lobby. How to set trusted organization. So it looks like it was a translated question. So what is a trusted organization when you're setting meeting participants?
Is that when you're allowing, is it kind of like a trusted domain? So you're actually allowing another team org to be trusted. So anyone inside of that team, inside of that organization would be trusted within your.
That's what I'm assuming. We'll have to read into sometimes the questions. They're not perfect, folks.
Yeah.
But I think that's how I interpret that as well, Mike. So you have the ability to go in there for setup as part of the team setup, only allow these trusted organizations to have access to that. So, does anybody use that? I mean, I invite individuals. I've not really gone in and set that up.
Nope.
I've not used the trusted one. I've done federated, but not done trusted, which is different. I've used that policy before, though, for restricting admitting people into the organization. So, making sure that it's only people in the organization. So, you get the 3 options. You get the everyone in the org, and then everyone in the org plus federated.
Yep.
We often change policies to be everyone in the org. So if you joined a meeting, you could never, you wouldn't be automatically admitted. So we changed that, but I've never used it with a trusted other organization. I don't know why you would do that. We should inherently not trust anybody. if that's what it is.
Right, I was just posting that question over to a couple folks, the previous question, but all right, number 6, Structure 7 asks, when we'll be able to show more than just one participant at a time in Teams live events? Yeah, seriously. It's forthcoming. I don't know, does anybody else have any other roadmap updates to Teams live events, having multiple presenters? My understanding is that they're trying to kind of duplicate the capability of Teams meetings over in the Team live event. So have a similar experience where you can have panels and a lot of that same functionality. But I don't know roadmap. What's happening?
I've not seen it on the roadmap. I know it will be. Yeah, I'm just looking to see if it's on there.
Teams live events.
I mean, there are ways of doing it. You just have to you basically share multiple sets of content, but it's the video stream of the person that shows up, and it basically looks like you're sharing desktops, but you're doing NDS stuff coming in.
NDI.
It's not NDI. Yeah, I don't know why I said NDS. I was thinking of Novell days.
Yeah.
I'm like, directory services.
Yeah, I'm like, I've just been talking about Active Directory, so I'm kind of like,
it's a roundabout way of getting to that feature set. Yeah, well, that's why I think some of the early teams, the recommendation was to go and check out OBS, and so a lot of people, it's interesting the skill set that's being developed from people that otherwise would have never paid attention to this kind of capability. But like the guys make fun of me for my slow iteration, the improvements to this live stream. And because I don't spend my week trying to figure this stuff out. I think about it like at 10:30 p.m. Sunday night. Oh yeah, I should go figure out how to fix what was happening last week in the live stream.
To be fair, Christian, we make fun of you for a whole lot more than that.
That's true.
It just happens to be one on the list.
That's true. Touche. Let's see. Yeah, so we don't know. So sorry, Structure 7, if that is your real name.
It doesn't show itself on the list.
Number 7, Rostislav says, trying to join as a producer using a Teams free account. Even though my email is registered as a producer, I still get the screen, which is the live event hasn't started, not able to go in there do that. Yeah, you have to have a paid account to be a producer.
Yep.
And connect to it.
Yeah. No way around that.
Nope, you can be a participant, but you cannot be a producer. The end.
It's all about
very
money.
Short story.
Yep.
Money.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
It is.
You gotta make the
that's
money
right.
somehow.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, number 8. David asks, what is the easiest way to view the status messages for a group of people? I want to be able to view at a glance the status of 15 to 20 different coworkers, but so far I'm only able to find documentation on how I can change my status and why it is super important to do so.
Status is, so we're still talking about Teams here or what?
Correct.
Okay. I don't think you can, I mean, there's no way to view status. There's no column that you can.
No.
There's
You can
no
see whether they're
custom view.
online or not. You can see if they're like green or not. You can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So if
it's
you go
not like,
Presence, yeah.
Yeah,
It's not-
if you go
it's
to
not
the
like
team
Slack
and click
where you
view
can actually-
members, it'll show the green thing or whatever.
yeah, it's not like Slack where you can actually enter in, I'm at home.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, that's
or,
right.
You know, anything like that. No.
Why would people want to do that?
I bet you that's been upvoted on user voice quite a bit.
Yeah, I want to see a list of who's online and who's not and what they're doing. I'm
Yeah.
eating food. I'm away. I'm.
Oh, you'd be amazed at what, some people put in there. Yeah, be amazed.
Well, so the closest way that you could get to this, so if you have if you've created a shared chat for that list of people, and you go into that chat and click on the people, the member icon, you get the drop down that has everyone's profile, and it has the kind of the status, and it's just that, you know, red, yellow, green.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have any description if they put in I'm on vacation, anything like that. You'd have to click into their profile. So as you said, it's limited to show whether green means that they're actually online doing something, or it's just open on their desk and they've been away from their desk. It depends on the settings that they have, whether that shows away after 15 minutes or of inactivity or what have you. But
to just get the presence indicator.
Yeah, presence indicator. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, if you've wrote something, does it really matter? I realized I logged into my normal Skype the other day for the first time in about 50 years, and apparently I'm still at a conference in Amsterdam because I don't use that status whatsoever. Like,
You never
I don't use
returned.
them.
Liam, you're not in a conference in Amsterdam.
But am I?
Who knows?
I may be.
I know.
Maybe it's you in the conference with me.
I know. And this is the Matrix. I need to wake up. That's right.
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
We all need
The
to
green screen hides all.
Yeah. If you pull this back, there's people in pods. Yeah, that's right. They're all in matrix pods behind here, and then Christians on this side.
I'm all for that. I'm all for going green. Let's go with pods.
Pods works great.
Let's my children batteries. Yep, let's do it.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm going to interrupt for a second. I can officially announce now, because I haven't had a chance to announce. I am now a grandfather.
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Lord.
I've been waiting for my daughter to post officially on social media, and then I can tell people. So
this
yes,
is
as of
proof.
Friday, I am a grandfather.
This is proof.
Outstanding.
Wow.
This is proof that the camera really does make you look a lot younger than you
I'm
actually.
telling you, I've told you, that's what it is.
He's like 60 years old. Yeah,
I mean, I think I'm closer to 80. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
congratulations,
she was
Liam.
born on November the 6th.
Well, congratulations. That's very exciting.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited in early next year. I've got grandchild number 2 on its way.
Nice.
So
Yeah, I had
time to
great
put
pleasure
the old
calling my
squill in.
parents and saying, congratulations, great grandfather and great grandmother. So yeah.
And watching your parents age 5 years sympathetically. As you did
Yeah.
all right, let's jump to so number 9, line or line 40er. Oh man, I'm so bad with names. It was never, one of the funniest experiences ever at a SharePoint Saturday was we all got Michael Knoll in South Africa in Johannesburg to read all of the winners for the raffle prizes. And it was hysterical. It was just one of the funniest things, and we all did the 1 2 3 not it, and Michael was slow, and it was excruciating and fantastic at the same time. And the audience loved that he brutalized every single one. It was awesome. All right, let's see. Number 9, I'd like to know if there's any way to add a different notepad than team in a channel tabs. I created the notepad in the channel files, but I can't insert it into a tab. I'm thinking, notepad that it's OneNote.
Oh yeah.
I would hope so.
Yeah. So to add a different notepad into the team in the channel tabs, I created the notepad in the channel files, but I can't insert it into a tab.
Is this a permissions issue?
I think it has to be.
Anytime you can't create tabs, it seems to.
Well, you can create it, but you could create a tab, but when you go to add an existing OneNote, so you get when you add a OneNote, and it has the OneNote dialog, you then can pick from any of those that are created, including the team of the channel that you're in or anywhere else, public or private. So I'm not sure why this person's experiencing this. Yeah, unless it's a, like you said, like a permissions issue, but
Well, look at all the different points of checking along the way. I mean, verify you've got necessary rights in Teams, verify you got the necessary rights in SharePoint. If all that lines up, call support.
Yeah, I
so
had absolutely no trouble doing that. We have a OneNote that we use for meeting notes, and I just made a tab out of that in one of the channels.
yeah, if you create a note, if you create a OneNote anywhere, you should be able to share that and open that up in a tab anywhere else.
Must be permissions or something.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah.
You hate doing this, but works for me.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
It's
in
not
an
me,
instance like
it's
this,
you.
It would be nice to see the
Yeah,
error
yeah.
message.
My computer always works fine. What are you on about?
Sorry, Hal, what'd you say?
I was just saying that in an instance like this, it would be nice to see what the error message says exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of those unfortunate. If there's something that we're missing and there's some other detail, please let us know. But yeah, it seems to work just fine. Working as designed. I don't know. All right, number 10. Mike says, we're still seeing a lot of people missing the large gallery option. When they check their settings in Teams, they turn on the new meeting experience option. It's also missing. Is anyone else experiencing this? Any fixes that I can try? Yeah.
Hey, Mike, what did you do?
Wasn't me.
Well, I'm thinking you had this problem client-sided, didn't you, a while back? And you ended up like doing a full reinstall of Teams or something.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I did. I actually had to, there's instructions out there somewhere. I got to find them again, but you do an uninstall of Teams. It actually, just like everything else, it doesn't actually uninstall Teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had to go through and I actually had to delete the directory and then go back and do a client-side install of Teams again, not through Microsoft Store. Don't do it through Microsoft Store. Do it from the download on the web, and that resolved the issue. It didn't resolve some of the issues like I think they're just native to Teams, like the microphone issue. I can't use my nice fancy microphone and stuff like that. But yeah, that's how I did it.
Well, I know we were also experiencing, and you guys had openly mocked me for, but the question where the feature, like the gallery mode, was yeah from the menu, like right here in the live stream.
Yeah.
I'll show it in more actions, and so like I would go in and it was grayed out. So here I have it. There's not enough people here.
It didn't even show for me.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how many people that you have to have in a meeting for the large gallery option to appear.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's got to be more than 4 or 5 because I mean I'm looking right at the large gallery preview option, and then just like you were saying, it is grayed out. So yeah. I'm assuming there's not enough people. Together mode didn't turn on until we get Liam.
Yeah,
the context-sensitive hover tag says view more than 10 videos at once when I hover over large gallery.
Okay. Yeah.
So I guess maybe 10 people is what they meant rather than 10 videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless
there it
they're
is.
all Memorex.
I'm showing that on screen right now. So we're in the so exactly that. You need at least 5 people for the together mode to start, and we could have everybody, 3 of us leave, or I guess 4 could leave, and it would remain in this view. It's a personal view, so you're seeing this because I have it on. I'm live streaming my environment, and I have it turned on here. So when I'm in gallery mode, and I'll go into gallery mode, you'll see in this feed, you guys see me on screen normal, but in the live stream, I'm a tiny little screen bottom right. So, yeah, this is one of those things where I see other people doing this that have multiple cameras or multiple instances set up, and so they've got 2 laptops, and so they're using one as a producer and another one as the attendee to be able to show up. I'm purposely not that fancy. Liam, you have a shiny green screen. Do you have it like a wall behind you, or what is that?
Behind there is the shelving units in the basement.
Do you have like an Elgato, or do you have like a full?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
I have the Elgato one that folds back. It rolls back into the floor.
I have that as well. It's awesome.
Yeah, it took ages to order it, like beginning of the year when I ordered it the worst time when you couldn't get stuff. But yeah, it works great. I come downstairs in the morning, I just pop it back up.
Yep.
I have all the calls I need to, and then put it away neatly in the floor when I finish.
Yep.
It works great. And then the lights the lights that you don't see are the rectangle Elgato lights.
Yep.
As well. And then I have the Stream Deck sitting here as well. And now I can't use it, which is really annoying. I have a 4K capture card sitting in the desktop next to me, but Teams doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So when I use the 4K Canon camera that I've got, the stream is too it's too high resolution, and Teams doesn't see it. It just goes.
Right.
But in Zoom it works great. But yeah, so I use this instead.
Excellent. Well, let's. So we're. I guess we're at the halfway point on the questions. We're going to jump down to the questions that were asked. There may be some Teams questions in there, but it's from the Office 365 community, so it's a wider variety there. But very quickly, so I saw Sean, you have a Doom T-shirt on.
Oh, it's not actually Doom.
Oh, what is it?
It's a boom.
Ooh.
Oh, wait, hang on. I got to go to gallery mode so that we can see it here. Oh,
Can you
boom.
name the movie? Name the movie. Can't look at the silhouette.
Yeah, I don't know the movie.
Oh. Army of Darkness.
Ah, okay.
This is my boomstick.
I've seen clips. I've never watched the movie.
Yeah.
I know it's one of those. It's actually a very popular B movie. That has actually gotten high praise for being kitschy and funny, and kind of helped launch that genre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely got its humorous points and definitely has its inane content. But yeah, that was one of the classic things. Shop smart. Shop smart.
Well, I'm just wearing this one again. So
you still want to believe. You're not giving up.
I'm a believer. That would be a funnier T-shirt. It'd have somewhere Justin Bieber in this photo and says, "I want to believe."
Just have him hidden in somewhere.
And I want to believe.
Or pressing his face up against the window of the saucer.
Yeah, that's right. Don't take me away.
I just need is I need a picture of kind of like that famous Obama Hope poster, but of Richard Harbridge as just say I want to believe, and just has. For those in the SharePoint community, understand that joke. So
yeah,
I came over. I saw that recording. I still have it out there where I gave a presentation at SPTechCon where I was using.
I remember it.
I was using Prezi. And I then made fun of, and I talked about Justin Bieber and went through a couple Justin Bieber, and then it was Richard Harbridge, and then I made fun of Todd Klint's hair. That was a good presentation.
Yeah,
those are the best presentations. They have nothing to do with anything. Just how can we mock other people in the community?
Exactly. All inside jokes. And I had that famous photo of Jeff Verosky on the pink couch where he's arching his back. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Classics.
You just described every lightning talk that's ever been given at SPTechCon.
I'll have to in the link list. I'll post a link to that video of that presentation so people know what we're talking about here. So, well, let me move back to together mode. And all right, let's go to the question number 11. Ahmad asks, is there any way to back up the user's emails without upgrading the license for the user? The users have basic license.
I don't think you can do that via PowerShell. I don't know that. I mean, that'd be interesting because I don't. The backing up the license via the UI, you can't do that. You can output the licenses in terms of being able to list them in a table or export them to CSV, whatever you want to do in PowerShell.
They're actually, Mike, they're talking about backing up user emails.
What if they're talking about licenses?
No, is there any way to back
up? I'm sorry, backing up. I thought they were talking about okay, sorry. I thought they were talking about, having a user and then having licenses assigned and you want to back up those licenses.
Yeah, the config. Download them all to a PST.
Yeah, that's.
And then store them somewhere. Just a bunch of
me.
PSTs.
Yeah, that you'll then lose on your own.
Well, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna pay the egress cost from 365. Yeah. So.
Yeah. There'll be a cost either way.
Well, there's a cost.
Oh yeah.
Always a cost. It may be mental and psychological, but yes, there's always a cost.
Yeah. All right. Good question. Great feedback.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to start incorporating some of those Microsoft responses. It's good feedback. We'll take that down. Yeah.
I mean, if they want the official one, it says after the 365 license is gone, then the default retention is 30 days, but it's more or less instantly removed. So yeah.
Unless your tenant admin has your whole tenant on something like a legal hold.
Yeah. Yeah. As I tell people all the time, just pay the money and buy the license. It'd be much easier.
That it would.
Yeah.
Add that to your workflow to do before you change the license type. Does it any change? What if you have a third-party archival backup solution? I don't know if it makes any difference there. You're limited if Office 365 and Microsoft is not capturing it, then the third-party tool will not.
Well, if a third-party tool's running the backups and doing regular exports out of Office 365 and storing in another facility, the license choice really only impacts the user from a capabilities perspective.
Yeah, I can tell you, working for a previous company that actually created a product to do that. We just used APIs, right? So it was just a call to 365 via API, and it would put the mailbox information. You can't get all mailbox information out of 365, believe it or not. Microsoft still hasn't opened up all the APIs to every feature that's in 365 Mail, Exchange Online. Mm-hmm. So you can get mail, but you can't get calendar, as an instance.
Yeah.
So it would just take that data and put it into a storage account inside of Azure, or else it would, download it to your on-premises, wherever you wanted to. But that was using things like Veeam or Rubrik or whatever. I think Cohesity makes one too. I think Cohesity can do the 365, yeah.
You okay over there, Christian?
Yeah, I'm doing some stuff in the background.
He's going to come back and he's going to be on a cruise ship.
All right. Sorry. I'll finish doing this. I'm doing something in the background here, but it's work related. I'll kick off question number 12.
What happened to your glasses?
Good observation, Mike.
I thought it had something to do with his glasses. He took his glasses off for some reason.
Because I only need the glasses when I'm sitting looking at the screen like this, and in normal life I don't need them.
Okay.
So we're not in normal life right now?
No, we are not. We're in the Matrix, Sean. I thought we covered that.
Yeah, you're in my basement. Do you remember that? In the
I thought
pods,
we were
in
in
the
Amsterdam, Liam.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Amsterdam,
mind blown
in
here.
my basement.
In
Where
your
are we?
basement.
Yeah.
So who's the GIMP?
Who isn't the gift?
That is the
Ooh.
question.
Leader's
Ooh.
basement. Hey, I'm just asking the question. Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah, that's right.
We've gone down some kind of hole. All right. Question number 12. Carlo says, "Hi, I have a SharePoint online page which I'd like to use as sort of a wall for my team." You mean a portal, Carlo? Is that what we're talking about? There is a web part in text that I need to update quite often during the day. And the issue is that if users don't refresh the page, they won't see the changes. I've tried with File Viewer that would display Excel or OneNote, but it still needs a page refresh. Any idea? So real-time automatic page refresh of status updates within SharePoint. Is that even possible?
Custom web part. I'm not aware of any messaging thing that busts cache and sends no cache headers.
Nope. No, there's not. It would be custom. Or it would be, you would be injecting SPFX JavaScript in the page to do auto refresh, or you'd use like Signal R or something like that to do that too. But yeah, you'd have to push that into the page either way.
The lo-fi way to do it, if you're really trying to do this on the cheap, is find something that'll insert a meta tag with a page refresh interval.
That's an old school way of doing it. I like it.
Totally old school.
Yeah, I was going to say, how do you make the page refresh? Meta tag refresh.
Yeah, exactly. Along with your flashing headers.
Yeah,
and all
that's
kinds
right.
of
That's right.
garbage. Talking HTML 3.2 here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kind of stuff I know with on-prem, we used to at least be able to set up other options as well, but the only way you're going to be doing that online is with just JavaScript, no cache headers and things like that. By the way, that ability to have to refresh, that is actually a feature, Carlo. That is what keeps the service from being swamped by tons of requests and having to send repetitive data. Part of the minimal page strategy, minimal download strategy.
So Christian just wanted to, show off his green screen because he has to be like Liam. He does.
I find it interesting now that his green screen's up, but you can also see the rest of the room behind him.
Yeah, so
he's in portrait mode, Liam.
I wanted to ask you guys because it's interesting. I don't know. I got it blurred, but you can see my green screen behind me, right? It's one of those oval ones that you have to fold up, which is total PETA that if you ever try and fold one of these things, forget it. Anyways, I actually have to have this thing almost touching the back of my chair.
Yeah.
In order not to get like the corners,
like
because
this.
my webcam does that wide view, right?
Yeah.
So I can see Liam with you. You're right up against that thing, right?
Probably about 8-9 inches away.
Yeah.
But I also changed the camera, so I use the Brio, and if you use the software, I can change the.
Oh, so you're actually using the camera to bring your angle in.
Yeah, that's right. So if I put it as like the full range, you'll actually get. So
yeah.
Get the edges.
Well, like mine.
But if I change it, it just zooms in. If I use my 4K camera, not in Teams, obviously, it works perfectly fine every time.
Yeah.
So what's the FOV on that camera you're using? The field of view.
I knew you were going to ask me that, writers.
So while
it's the Brio, it's the Logitech Brio.
Of course, you guys, that if you don't have together mode on, then you're seeing my entire screen. You can still see the picture frame, and I don't have it right behind me. The angle is not correct. But the reason I did it is for the people that are watching the live stream, you'll just see that the effect of the around my head. You don't see like the other dark spots coming in and my hair looking all chunky and funky.
Well, no, it's like a TV weatherman. I mean, they're standing in front of a huge green screen, right? So the reason why I bring this up is because bringing this thing right up against the back of my chair can be
super annoying.
Really annoying, especially when I'm trying to be animated in my talking or whatever.
Yeah.
And I bump into the thing, But
smack it on the floor.
A friend of mine actually took and went to the, a craft store and bought the green fabric.
Yep.
And has the clamps and everything and has it hung up off the rafters in his basement, and it's like 8 feet long by 10 feet long or whatever, just so he didn't have to deal with that.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm almost to that point. 'Cause I'm just tired of that thing.
Yeah, see, I just wanted it so I could put it away easily. So I got the one that just goes into the box on the floor.
Yeah.
And so it works great. I mean, I don't use it all the time. I mean, before I had it, I was using a lot more Zoom, so you were just doing the backgrounds as you would normally. But when I'm doing, like, I just finished recording some training videos, and of course, it's just me and my head, like the back's all gone. So that works great. I'm just a floating head on the slides. But that works pretty well, and I don't leave it up all the time, but it works. It worked great though. I mean, it's pretty decent size. I mean, like, I put my arms out and I can just about reach. I'm obviously not exactly 6 foot, but I can reach. I can put my hands right on the edges of it, so it's pretty wide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool story, bro.
Twinners.
Yeah. No, so being in the basement, one of the things that I want to do, so I have like the two, poles. I think it's like 8 feet across, and then with this giant green screen, and got a couple other backgrounds that I purchased as well. But to stand that up and then take it back down, just super annoying. But again, since my entire basement's my home office, I have like over this window well. I don't have blinds or anything on it, and so you see the reflection in the picture over on the side. I'll move to gallery mode so people can see what I'm talking about here. But that's it's not showing blinds. That's actually the graded the inside of the window well right over there. Yeah. But I've thought about setting up that green screen in an L shape and blocking out that entire corner and setting up, and then I've got a little table and set it up with my laptop and do videos over there and have a permanent dedicated green screen.
Yeah, it has to be dedicated though.
Right.
That's my problem. Is I don't want to make dedicated space. I mean, that to me is just I need the functionality of having there's a door behind me, so I need to be able to get out the door.
Yeah.
Mike, I don't know that that's your only problem.
Yeah, I got a million of them. Let me tell you.
It's I mean, that's the thing. It's I often think about back when I was at college at BYU and started doing some projects with the BYU studios where they do full movies over there, and they have the scrim that's like 30 feet tall and coming down, and you see sometimes like music videos and stuff, and they're in this giant empty warehouse and this smooth backdrop, and like that's what they have there. It's just fantastic.
It is. And I worked for a TV studio, so early on in my career I used to the camera, the weatherman, it was perfect. Not only that, but the talking heads, as we called them, they'd stand up in front of this huge 10-foot wall of green, and it was actually painted. It wasn't fabric, it was painted. And the lighting and everything was perfect from underneath, from above, from the sides, and there's no shadows. Like Liam, I see shadows behind you.
Yeah, that's right.
In television, there can be no shadows, so they have to light it. I mean, everything has to be lit without shadow.
This is not my beautiful house. This is not my beautiful wife.
Yeah. Well, when you think about it, I watch some of these videos. This has kind of become the norm, right? I'm watching videos now that people are creating, and they're using, Zoom to record, and they're getting these green screens off of Amazon for $15-20 or whatever. I don't know. And they're recording this stuff, but it's you see like, little black images around their head, and you
aberrations.
See, the stuff coming out, and all of a sudden I'm like,
the ones that get on the headphones, you get like this little strip.
Yeah.
It looks like you have little green bits in your hair. Right. Like, what is that?
Well, and so that's all this kicked off. That's why I set up pulled the green screen up, was to reduce the amount of the weird. Like I
Yeah.
just put my fingers close to my head, you see like the chunks of green behind it.
Yeah.
But in the together mode, but it's still slightly better than without the green screen, but still annoying. And of course, you've got to pick your backgrounds. You have to pick your recording device. When I do interviews, I use Zoom for recordings. I still pay for Zoom for webinars, and when I do recordings, because the quality of the recordings, as Liam pointed out, you can get much higher quality video output than Teams.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, most of the training stuff I'll be using Camtasia, or I use something else, and then I'm using the green screen, but I'm only using it specifically to cut me out. And so like that's really what the investment was for me to sit here to cut me out when I'm on video, so the slides are in the background. That's really all it's for, is just that, and it works great. And then the advantage for Zoom, and also I use another product called Bandicam. Bandicam was more for gamers, so it's like a Camtasia but a little bit better, kind of in between Camtasia and OBS Studio, like a smaller one, and that works pretty well too. And it does great with the green screen as well. So
I just think it's funny now when you join Zoom calls and people try and put up these fancy backgrounds. Because virtual backgrounds are like all the rage now, right? I mean, everybody wants to have a virtual background, and they want the coolest one. Because when you're on a call, when you got like 30 people on the screen, everybody's trying to outdo the other person and come up with the coolest background, the moving ones, their dog barking in the background, or whatever, I don't know. But you can see when they move, you like see pictures of actually what's really behind them.
It's like a bunch of crap in the back.
Well, gents,
if you want to use cool ones, IKEA, the shop IKEA released a whole bunch of pictures of like their staged rooms all set up, so you can use the IKEA backgrounds, which is quite cool. I'm in the store. Ta-da.
You can do that. Just go to if you go to the Pottery Barn site, and grab some images as well. But hey, well, let's jump through a few more questions. Number 13, Anders has a question around Exchange Online. Is it possible to send a meeting invite with these criteria in Exchange Online Office 365? So first, invitees should not be asked to respond. The event should be added to the calendar automatically. 2, sender does not wish to receive any responses, auto replies, and whatnot. 3, event should not show attendees. So is any of that possible? So first, let's address that. The invitees aren't asked to respond. It just adds them.
Yeah. So that is possible to do if you don't ask for. Well, I shouldn't say that. The first one I can't answer to. So if anybody else can answer that first one,
you have to have the right to be able to go in and add to their calendar.
Correct.
Are we talking externally or like in the same organization?
I'm assuming same organization.
Okay, so if it's same organization, then yes, you can do that. So that's Exchange Online, and that's called Direct to Calendar is the feature they want to look for. It's done using mail flow rules. So what you can do, you can basically tell it that when it comes in, it will just go in, and you basically change in the header. That's effectively what's happening. So the header that you're adding, Exchange-organization, it's something like calendar something or other. I can't remember what it's called, but you basically use a mail flow rule to inject that in, and when the mail goes in, it just automatically adds it to the calendar.
But don't you need permissions to the calendar to do that?
No, because it's done by the mail flow rule.
Because if I'm an anonymous access, if I set everybody in my organization as anonymous access, they can't add anything to my calendar.
No, because it's done at the mail flow rule, and it's basically a spoof. You're basically just adding in the header that would be the response that you would normally expect to get. And so when it comes in, it just goes, hey, you've already got this header, which means you already have accepted it. There's a default value of accept, tentative, and decline. So the mail comes in, and when you say accept, it sets the header value, and then it does what it needs to. So you're just preloading that value as it comes in. But that's normally how you would do it. That's normally how that works.
Okay, for the second part, sender does not wish to receive any responses, auto replies, and whatnot.
So Yeah, you can. Let me bring that up. If you create I'm going to do this while we're sitting here.
If you're doing that direct to calendar, Liam, I mean, is that going to send any responses back to the meeting creator?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I can't remember if it sends it back or not, or it just adds it to.
I don't know what that.
Mike,
Let me see if I can find the. Let me see if I can find the documentation for it and just make sure if it will send it back.
Yeah, if you find the documentation, Liam, add it to the chat and I'll share it out.
Yeah, I'm just looking now.
Mike, did you have an idea of a different scenario where it would not send auto responses?
No, the only place that I could find that is if you're actually in the properties of the appointment or the meeting invite. If you go to File and then Properties, one of them is Have Replies Sent To, and you can select names, or you know, then you can actually have a reply sent to some mailbox, you know, somewhere. But I don't see anything where it says you know, do not accept replies. I mean, if you had a dummy mailbox, you could do it.
I mean, the fact that you have the ability as a respondent to select accept but do not send a response, that I mean, would indicate that there is a way somehow to programmatically flag that.
Yeah, because I mean, under voting and tracking options, there's request to deliver receipt or request to read receipt, but the only delivery options is have replies sent to, and then you can select a name. Do not deliver before, expires after, and then save copy of sent messages. That's it.
Liam, while you're looking at that one, the third part, event should not show attendees. So once people have been added in and that's created, that's out there, I don't know how you.
So is that ability there if you do a blind carbon copy on an event?
What, the direct?
I mean, if you create a meeting, you create a new meeting, and if you were to take and do optional will show if you create it optional. If you create the meeting, send it to yourself, and then send it out as a blind carbon copy to all these people.
Can you send a meeting invite BCC?
You can forward it as BCC, I think.
Yeah, you can forward it. And then it will show up as a calendar invite. It just, nobody else knows who's on it.
But I don't know, once you join the meeting, then does your name show up?
Yeah, I don't think that there's a way that you can suppress it once you've joined. I mean, you can suppress the response manually, but right. I don't think you can hide the fact that you've accepted.
It's an interesting requirement. Like, I want to force something into your calendar that I don't want to get the emails to know that you come in, and then when you turn up, I don't want to know that you're there.
Well, it's almost like a webinar. It's almost like you're setting up.
It is. It's like a webinar live event. That's really what it is. It's like we don't care who comes on. Just that's what it kind of looks. It sounds like.
Yeah. So they're trying to get around actually running a webinar and just doing it as a meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can forward a meeting as an iCalendar, or you can send it to a BCC or a CC. But once you join the meeting, it's going to show your name. I mean, that's a tough one, man.
Yeah. Hey, Liam, do you find anything, or do you want to take that second part?
I posted a thing in the Teams chat. It was the documentation that talks about the direct calendar with the flow rules.
So that's the first part.
Have you got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so basically, the first bit talks about what it is, and then it takes you through like what you would do, and then any prerequisites like feature permissions in Exchange Online if you're like an admin, and what they have to do, stuff like that. So it also tells you like not to open it, so anybody can do it. You know, don't make sure that every calendar invite has this on. So I could send one to Christian, he'd just be like, I've accepted the meeting. Like, don't do that. It talks about having designated accounts that can do that. So to make it more restrictive. But yeah, that's the documentation for it.
But you didn't see anything about the auto replies?
So the notifications, if you go right to the bottom, it'll say the designated sender mailbox will receive meeting acceptance responses to direct to calendar meetings. That's it. And then it says, you can use the following to minimize those. And then has a bunch of stuff you do in the Outlook client. So they can go in and say, update tracking information, whatever, clearing the request responses option in Outlook. Like this, it's more client-side stuff than server-side stuff. So either way, they'll get a response that will say, but they'll all be accepted. Right. So it's like no one's going to say no because they didn't even have to press anything. It just appeared in the calendar.
Right.
So, but they will get the cancellation ones too if someone happens to see it and go, I'm not going. Because even though directive calendar goes in automatically, I could still go and right-click in the calendar and say cancel.
Right.
So it's a strange, it's a strange feature anyway in Exchange that you'd want to do that.
Yeah.
But
well, it's
take away your personal ability to say yes and no. It's like remove the choice. Your choice is to attend. That's it.
Well, if you have like a mandatory all hands, there's scenarios where that makes sense.
No, I know.
But the turning off the auto replies and especially not showing the participants for an event, it's it's at this point where you say you need to be using a third party external webinar type, or Eventbrite or something, not be using Exchange for what you're doing. Like
that's right.
This doesn't make sense.
I mean, if they really want to get rid of those, it's all client side. So that person that sends it would have to go and globally change their configuration for Outlook to say, I don't want to get these. But then if they do send a legitimate meeting, then they wouldn't get the responses back. It kind of
right.
Yeah,
it's an all or nothing. Right.
Yeah.
Good times. All right, number 14, Killian asks, weird behavior in one and only one of the teams I created. I'm in the owner group. Colleague created a plan, so planner plan, but can't add me or assign tasks to me. I can't access the plan at all. Also can't open the OneNote in the client app in this single team. Can open OneNote in the browser and can access the underlying SharePoint site. But can't get into the plan, can't get into the OneNote, can't for that single team.
Delete the team and start again.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this person created it.
Who's going to agree with me on that one?
Yeah. Do over. Try turning it off and on again.
Yeah. Press the switch that turns Teams off. Click and back on.
Yeah, there's something that's corrupted there, and that's not normal.
Yeah, when you create a Microsoft team, it kicks off a Byzantine series of processes in the background to spin up all the different associated resources. Sounds like one of them got stuck or didn't run completely.
Yeah, unless there's something. So Planner is still a second app. It's not just part of Teams. And so they could have created a plan and removed that team owner from it. Could have still, if they have the right access, could have added that plan to that team, but that owner not have access to it. And same with the OneNote. But if they created both of those things within context of that team, which it sounds like from the way it's positioned, then that's a corrupt issue. Otherwise, it's just a permission issue. Then you need to check the permission for both of those things. Where it sounds like the people created or somebody went and removed you, the team owner.
I find it interesting that they can open the OneNote in the browser, but not in the client app.
Yeah,
that's likely just the client.
Right.
Yeah. Which client, Hal?
Yeah. The browser client.
Yeah, that would be I would say delete, do over.
Yeah.
Obviously, if they've invested a lot of time, resources, people are using it, it's a live team site, that's easier said than done to delete and start over. So, I mean, check the permissions. What else can you do? If it's not an option to delete and recreate, is check the permissions on those things and log a ticket. Maybe there's something else going on that we're just not able to see with this limited information, and Microsoft should be able to see.
True enough.
15, shared calendar. Robert says, I have a shared calendar for the business and need to allow a third party to edit. We have a calendar based on public folders now, but can't figure out how to grant external editing and contribution rights. Is there another way to do this? Maybe SharePoint, which I'm not familiar with as yet. Shared calendar, third party access and edit.
I can speak to the SharePoint side of it. I can't speak to Exchange, though. I mean, if you can create a calendar in SharePoint and you can synchronize that with the Outlook client just fine if you want to open it in Outlook. And I know that SharePoint's going to give you more direct permission control over who can get into that library and whatnot. It looks like a standard Exchange calendar, but it's actually hosted in SharePoint. In fact, that's what my wife and I do to keep times and things straight.
Okay, so we may have to punt on this one till we have more of an answer. We have to go investigate on this one. We got 5 minutes left. Let's see if we can power through the last 3 questions here. AM says, I have an issue with OneDrive not syncing all folders from SharePoint for a document library. It syncs a limited number of folders and cannot sync all.
So it's syncing some of them, but not all of them.
Correct.
And they've tried it on a different machine? Tried unchecking the bits that sync in to check them back in again, or is it just restrict, like just not syncing?
Yeah, the first question I'd have is, which direction doesn't it sync? Are you putting stuff in your local machine, it's not pushing them to SharePoint? Are you not getting stuff out of SharePoint synchronized?
Hal, what's that link?
That's calendar sharing in Outlook and Office 365.
Okay.
I haven't read it yet to see much of anything, but that's just a good place to start.
All right. Yeah, it was the on the sync. I mean, that's the first thing I would do as well, is uncheck and go to the sync engine, uncheck and recheck, and and if you uncheck other things that are successfully syncing, and just try to just select one folder that was not previously syncing, and if that's the only one selected, and then try and run it. Is it failing?
Yeah, check the OneDrive sync log as well, because if you've got something disrupting sync in a particular folder, it will sometimes block entire branches from synchronizing. So make sure that you're not getting some failure under the hood. And I've had to stop syncing entirely and then reestablish syncing, and it ends up, those sorts of situations tend to involve multiple changes on the files in different locations, and the engine can't figure out which is authoritative. Nowadays, it'll make copies of it and name it per machine, so it's less likely. But that is a potential problem if it gets into a situation where a file or a folder just won't sync. It will sometimes block the engine from continuing the process. I've had that happen a couple of times. I'm gonna say it's not a common thing, but
I do it the easy way. I just don't sync anything. I've never had any issues with it whatsoever.
clean slate, huh?
Yep. If I'm going to upload something, I'm going to upload it in the browser, and then when I want to use it again, I'm going to download it and use it. I go the most confirmed way of using it. Just be like, yep, that's how it works.
Yes. Problem solved. User replaced.
Yeah.
Replace user.
Yeah, I do use a different product too, and I do use that for syncing. But yeah, it's not a Microsoft one though.
Well, one last question here. We'll try and answer here. So we're the number 16 was the it's the have you tried turning it off and on again? I think that's our response officially. So John, the last question here says users have started to see the new add shortcut to OneDrive and SharePoint libraries. Does anyone know how to remove this?
Not officially, no.
Yeah, there's always the unofficial CSS hack, but
Yeah, CSS hack, or if you can go the whole hog and do it the kind of supported way and use SPFX to do stuff. Like, there's things you could do. You just need to inject something in the page. That's all you got to. The thing that you're not supposed to do.
So you're saying the supported CSS hack?
Yeah. Just like it's hidden in the supported mechanism. The supported mechanism is SharePoint Framework, but we can put other stuff in there. But it was deployed in the supported way.
Is that confirmed though? There's no admin control to turn that off?
I haven't seen an
In the
admin one
console?
yet.
I've not seen a
Okay.
setting.
Maybe there will be. I haven't seen one yet, and I haven't seen it in the PowerShell either.
Yeah. So John, that might be something that is just too new. We don't know yet what we can and can't do with it. We'll have to take a look. With that, the last there was Tommy was asking, is there an audit report that would show which users are using which browsers to access Teams? I don't believe that you see that information in the audit reports or anything within Teams. I think you have to do third party. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that, are you guys aware
That's the
of
kind
that?
of stuff you'd mine out of IIS logs.
Right.
Have that kind of access.
It's going to have that data somewhere. I mean, even the third party tools are pulling it from somewhere in there, but you'd have to go dig for it. I don't know. Yeah, it would be in the logs, not within the audit report. I don't think it would.
So if you're running Teams on premises, you'd be able to go into the IIS logs and dig it out.
That's the next iteration, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I've heard something about that.
The next iteration to move back to on-prem? What?
Yeah. Everything goes back. Next version of SharePoint, all goes back.
It's a big cycle. So of course,
I'm just waiting for it to be that you just buy Azure Stack and it just comes with it.
We're gonna have
because that's what it is. I mean, basically, it's just an Azure Stack service that you could just put back on-prem again.
Yeah.
white type issue.
But you can definitely get. So if you look in the logs, like for example in Azure AD, Azure AD logs for the sign-ins. If you're looking for the sign-ins that hit Teams, it does show you the browser. So you could do that. It's like a weird way around looking at it. You just use a different mechanism because all sign-in information captures the browser. All kind of activity stuff captures the browser. So most of it you won't see in the user interface. If you call it using the usage logs, you'll have to expand the JSON object that is returned back with it as well. And then it will show you the browser and stuff like that.
User agent string on that?
Yeah. They capture all kinds of weird stuff.
I mean, it makes sense.
Or you just use Cloud App Security and it does it all nice for you. So you can just see it's like Christian logged into Teams using Firefox. You can just see it listed there from this country at this time with this IP address. From this machine, he was on the toilet and he was having a drink at the same time.
Here's the footage.
Yeah. Here's the footage of the camera that he didn't know we were watching. I'll delete that video later.
It was live streamed on YouTube, so you know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's there forever.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, we're at we're past the top of the hour or the bottom of the hour, so we're at time here. So really appreciate everybody for joining, and thanks to the panelists for being here. Of course, we'll be back next Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific, and the live stream, the recording's out on YouTube. And later today, should have it out on the blog post at Buckley Planet as well. And I'll put together the link list with all the timestamps to all the topics that we covered. If you have questions during the week, continue to reach out to us. You can send us your questions at officehours@collabtalk.com. And Liam, did I add you to that DL yet?
No.
Yeah. Well,
but that's okay. I'm not really here. You're in my basement, remember?
That's true. That's true. None of this is
Amsterdam.
real. We're just batteries. I know.
Yeah, that's right. You power the lights that are on right now.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm the dim bulb.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, thanks a lot for everybody, and thanks for those that were watching the live stream as well. And we're going to go out with some tunage. So
Tunage.
see you guys later.
See ya.